Hello. Hello, bosses.
Hey, the people, how una dey?
Hey, Ogaji Eva.
Maybe that. How are you doing?
We're not bad, bro. Good afternoon, or is it evening?
It's night now. It's past 8.
It's not 8 too. This is just one of those early evenings.
No.
So I'm just waiting for Tayo to join us. She's our host.
I'm right.
Tayo is there now.
Evening.
Oh,
I just need to.
Oh.
The OAU Medtalks.
Sorry. I didn't mean to hurt
you. Hello, sirs. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
All good.
Okay. Tayo.
Yes, sir.
The social doctor. How are you doing?
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure we have quite a lot of people here already joining. I see lots of people coming on. You're welcome to OAU Medtalks.
Loco himself. Sorry, let me mute my mic.
Thank you very much. Dr. Gbenga Adebaya, thank you. Dr. Lasende, thank you for coming on. Dr. Daramola, thank you. And Dr. Gundia, thank you so much for coming on to this meeting. I know we haven't seen each other in a long while. It's so glad to see every one of you. And thank you for your time, for collaborating with us to help the next generation who are already on the call. And just information, this is being recorded and will be posted on our live channels in time. So please look forward to that. We hope more people would get to watch this. So I'm trying to give it just a minute more. We are very conscious of time because I see some people still trying to log on.
Yeah, I'm just admitting everyone in quickly.
All right, thank you.
I can see Dr. Lasende's face. It's so good to see your face now.
I can see Dr. Adebayo. So good to see you.
Good to see you, Jumoke.
Yeah.
Welcome.
You be that.
Now me be that too. I've not seen anybody call me Jimmy Kenke in a long time. And I'm missing it.
Oh, so for me tell her now, if you just tell me.
No. I have to bribe you before you do that. You see.
Okay. So I think we're all in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We have quite a lot of people joining us here. Dr. Dia will do the honors of admitting them as they come in. So thank you for that. All right. I believe all of the people here, aside from the speakers, are final year medical students of OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University, the Great Ife. So welcome, everyone. And thank you for...
We also have some colleagues. Some of our colleagues are also here.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Oh, yes. I see the names now. I'm sure that we're going to take a roll call sometime at the end of this meeting. We're trying to keep it precise and concise, and then we can have our talk.
Reunion chat.
Yes, reunion chat. So one of the questions you'll be asking for the people that are joining as the final year medical students is why? Why was there the initiative of OAU Medtalks? And this was created as a platform to help to mentor, to help you see the future through our eyes and through our experiences. We realized in hindsight that, a decade and a half ago, when we were right where you are today, there would have been vast experiences that we have now that we didn't have then. Today, we have wider worldviews. Today, we have much exposure because we have gone across time, which you don't have the benefit of, but which we can give to you, thankful to technology. And we know that if we had this when we were in your shoes, walking the corridors, going into all those words, we know that we would have harnessed more of those possibilities as individuals, being exposed to adequate knowledge at a critical time in our lives. And if you listen carefully to what I'm saying, the keywords: exposure, adequate knowledge, critical timing. For you, you're about to step out. And that's why this maiden edition of OAU Medtalks is titled Stepping into the Future, because your future is just about to start. You are stepping right into it. In a week's time, you're going to start your exams, and it's the beginning of the future. We know you will do well. We believe in you. And that's why we are already here waiting for you, to welcome you to the world of your career, your professional career. As individuals, we could have done this. And actually before now, we all have been doing individual mentoring in parts, in bits and pieces. But it comes together when there is harnessed methodology of effective group work, which goes beyond individual limitations, because none of us is an island of knowledge. And therefore, us coming together as a whole class, as a whole team, to meet with you gives you the benefit of all our vast experiences, which you get to hear in this casts, which will be on our channels. We can serve as the forerunner, and we can link you to other people that have been there or have walked in the same corridors. Thankfully, all the people you see here today walked on that same corridor, stood by that same bedside with those consultants that you see. Some of us stayed back, like Dr. Olasende, to make sure that people coming after, like you, would do well. Some of us ventured into so many different areas in life. I really can't mention any area in life where we're not. Banking and finance, computer technology, business, projects, pharmacy, pharmaceuticals, CEOs of companies. That's who we are. So let this be your peek into the future. And for today's edition, I will briefly introduce you to our speakers. I will be the moderator for this. My name is Dr. Tayo Adebayo-Oyale. And I'll briefly tell you, I'm a consultant public health physician with associated credentials of a master's in public health, an MBA specialized in healthcare management. I have other certifications, NEBOSH inclusive, a certified CRA inclusive, and I currently work as a clinical operations manager and site excellence partner in Pfizer, USA. And I'm honored to introduce the first speaker to you, who is a very well renowned person. You see his face right here. You see his face right here on the screen, and he's a very humble person. I will say that because we call him Alaba, right? But that is Dr. Ogundiya. MBCHB Ife, that's the proudest degree he says he has. MRCPH UK, Masters in Child Health, Glasgow. He's a honorary consultant neonatologist, Universities Hospital, Southampton. He's a fellow of congenital cardiac disease, a board member of Thames Valley and Wessex Congenital Cardiac Disease Operational Delivery Network. He's an examiner in the Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health College examinations. He's a deputy education lead, Pediatrics St. Mary's Hospital. He's an instructor in Neonatal Life Support Resuscitation Council, UK. He's a researcher and principal investigator, Aztec Trial, St. Mary's Hospital, United Kingdom, the lead clinician in the Southampton University and in the hospital associated with it. He can continue his credentials, but I am honored to allow him speak to you today for the next few minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. So when Tayo starts all this gymnastics with English, me I just did look like, say, I'm sure you guys have all kinds of people in your class already, the very serious ones and the unserious fellows like myself. All these guys who were in my class would bear me witness. I'm one of the unserious guys, but it doesn't matter, guys. You are now on the edge, and that's what matters the most. Whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever kind of personality you have, it affects nothing as to what happens after now. And it doesn't mean you're going to change. Being on the edge, I saw it as being on the precipice, just being on that, looking out into the void, not being certain of what the next step will be. Does that change anything? I'd still say no. Because at the end of the day, it's a transition process. You're like hatching from an egg and going into a new form, into a much more developed format of yourself. It's also, you guys are at that point now where you're making decisions about what next. Now, some of you would think you have it all together, you have it all laid out, best laid out plans, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and that is brilliant. But at the same time, you'd realize that there'll need to be some modifications along the line as to what you do. Now, what these sessions we're going to be doing over the next couple of months are not, are one, an opportunity to bash Ife. I could never do that for one reason. If I were to pick any single achievement I have in this life, that is the best one, I'll still put MBCHB as the best one I've ever had. And if I ask you what's going on in your head right now, I'm sure I'll get all sorts of answers. There'll be the primaries, there'll be house job, there'll be going into business, going into technology, all kinds of things. But this doesn't really make much of a difference to where you end up in. Now, regarding achievements, I did say MBCHB is the best thing ever for me. Why? It was the foundation. It was the bedrock upon which anything else is based. So now, as you walk towards the exams, some of you would have apprehension, you'd have fears, you have doubts. Even those of you who are super prepared and very good students like Tayo and Ega and Leko among you, those people who are like that are probably still a bit scared or apprehensive. I'll tell you what, bone it. Don't be apprehensive. Don't worry about it. This would come and it will go, and it will only move you on to the next step. Secondly, the MBCHB was the key to anything else I did after school. Now, before you guys start to think, this guy in Ifiko, he sabi do things, he does this. No. After I left Ife, it was quite funny. I started a computer business. I did cyber cafes. I did everything. That's not even adding to the fact that some of us, Afes Egbale, for like 6-8 months, we were walking the streets looking for house job. So these things will come, they're challenges. Don't let it cloud what you see about what's after this edge you're on at this moment. It's also a place that actually gives you a sense of purpose, this MBCHB. You've worked so hard to get to this point. You didn't get to this point by being nobodies or never do wells or anything. You got to this point by being Ife Med students. And if you have no guarantee or no assurance or no self-worth from anything else, the fact that you got this far and you're now looking at that very last point should make you realize what stuff you have in you to start with. The other thing I was going to say is a particular part of the journey, in fact, a huge part of the journey for some of us, or for some of you guys, will be rising over the bitterness that may be in your heart around Ife. Now, we were all students. Everybody did the student days. We all have the thing. We all have our favorite consultants, our pet peeves. We even have things we don't like about our alma mater. But that is not, if you understand the fact that Ife is just a step in the journey, then you won't hold it to heart that Ife did me wrong or did this or did that. Ife is one of the best schools in the world, and I'll maintain it. I've taught students in Scotland, I've taught students in Liverpool, I'm teaching students in Southampton. And when I look at these guys and what the average Ife students can do, oh boy, you guys, you're going to do this for yourselves. I'm sorry I'm diverting into pidgin a bit because I'm not the most serious person as you may have seen so far. And lastly, I mean, after this set of exams, there are things you would have learned that may not be apparent to you right now. One of them is resilience. If there's one thing a lot of people, students, even my registrars and senior registrars here lack, is that resilience, that grit, the ability to grit your teeth and go, I'm going all for it. This is a challenge. I'm going to get through it. By the time you guys are finished with these exams, believe me, nothing will phase you in life again. And it's a school that actually gives you good balance. Be proud of it. Carry it with you. It's not just the Afiko. There's the Awu Aru, if it's still there. I hope it is. There's also the balance in med school. There's people who know everything about music. They know about religion. They know about education. It's that roundedness that stands you out when it gets to that point that you actually need these things to use. And lastly, please be open-minded about these things. It's not a case to develop a set mind about how things should work, about how things work. Be open-minded to researching and doing things, and that in itself will just spur you on. A lot of times people get closed-minded, they're not willing to learn. The moment you stop learning, the moment you stop doing something, that's the first stage of decline. As I speak to you, I found some other exams to do. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but you'd always find something else to do because once you are bored, you start to decay. So in essence, just to round up, I've only got 5 minutes and I've spent about 3.5 already. 1, be fired up. You're about to achieve the best thing ever. Don't look down on it. It is MBCHP. The world around you in Nigeria might tell you, oh, doctors are rubbish, doctors don't do this, they'll never do well, they're this. Some other professions might make it hard for you. Don't look down on it. You're going to be achieving the biggest thing you've ever achieved in life in the next couple of weeks. And you would look back 5, 10, 15 years from now to be proud of it and to be very happy to be associated with that club. 2, exams will come and go. Whatever path you choose after this exam, once you pass through IFEMED, there's only one psychology you'd come out with. You develop what I've called, and I hold on to this, the no lily psychologist. Some people will just say, no, that's not very professional. It's the I can do all things kind of psychology. But I think for me, it works in my head as no lily psychology. Bring any challenge, any new projects, research, anything. As long as you can see yourself that I will finish this and do it really well, then you shouldn't have to worry about anything at all. So remember, we are one, we are here, and we are all OAU. This is a journey we're all going to work on together. I mean, this is just the introductory phase. As we go deeper into each person's story about where they've been and how to approach this phase of things in your academics, you'd understand that we need a lot of networking. We need to talk to each other. We need to do businesses with each other. We need to even do collaborative research in some cases. And it's never too early to start. You're on the edge now. You can only take a step forward into what I would term an assured future based on your MBCHP. Thank you, guys. I'll stop here. Dr. T, you can take over.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gundia, for that short brief words. We hope to have you for a full session where we can have question and answers. I'm sure people want to be where you are today. They want to someday be a pediatrician. Some people want to super specialize, and they want to come to the UK. There's so many of them that say they want to travel. How did you get there? There are people that have questions of, how did you get the right exams to be in the right place at the right time? What skills and soft skills did you develop along the way? Those are questions that will come up in this series. And to the students who are here, we want you to send your questions. We have OAU Med05@gmail.com. We're going to put that into the chat so that if you have questions, they may be specific or general questions about career, your professional life, about mentorship. Please feel free to send those questions to OAUmed05@gmail.com. If you want to type the questions, you can type it to myself here and we can take it at a later date. We hope to do this once a month going forward. Thank you, Dr. Mudia. I would like to introduce our very own, who you very well know. We all know him as well. He's a consultant general surgeon, a senior lecturer at OAU Ile. He is a clinician, a researcher, a teacher, a youth coach. He also has the prestigious MBCHB of IFE, a master's in clinical epidemiology, Will Cornell, New York, FWACS and FMCS Nigeria, memberships in several local and international organizations, which are listed, a lot of them. Amongst his many credentials, he's your teacher. He's been with you for several years and you've seen him teach you at the bedside. We're honored to have Dr. Olasende here to speak for a few minutes for this session. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fire. And thank you guys for attending. I think one of my greatest motivation from you guys, it was really quite amazing when I reached out to the captain, and the response I got from him was amazing. And to me, there's nothing as beautiful as something happens. This idea is coming up at the right time. And it clearly goes to show that there's a need that to be met. It would have been our desire for this to have been, really would have been our desire, but we feel that very good time. Exams are, I think if there is anything you need at this point in time, it's to be fired up for what lies ahead of you. And believe you me, it goes well. We'll talk a bit about exams, but way beyond that. Goes way beyond that. There's so much that lies ahead of you. Alaba talked about some of the things that IFE does to you. Honestly, I would tell you the truth. I have no regrets about passing through IFE. Not one regret. I rarely had in IFE. I feel so excited about all of what we passed through, even though some of them were not at the time that pleasant. But looking back, those things imputed into us, like Alaba said, grit, tenacity, that I can do it kind of spirit. And I've seen it play out, not just to myself, in virtual colleagues. Like Tayodi mentioned when she gave the intro, we have folks spread across the globe doing stuff, doing things, doing great things all over. And I think that's one of the things that IFE does to you. If see it from that perspective, it's very easy for folks to just say, let me do my bit and get out of this, of this environment. Please grab all that you can grab, just in case you've had a negative mindset about passing through here. Please, for the remaining time you've got, just adjust your mind a little bit and begin to see it as you being prepared for what lies ahead of you. The truth of the matter is, this is not your bus stop in life. There's so many things you guys are going to be encountering, and you're going to pull out some of these things that you have learned while you are here, and they're going to be working for you. That's the truth. That's the truth. I'm one of the home-based guys. There was a time I tried, doing accounts, and I was wondering if not more than half of our class is actually out. I would actually be out of the country at this time. You see, I think probably less than half of us, will be here. But the truth is, I haven't gone to several places. I've interacted with medical students in and outside the country. I have seen, medical doctors, and I dare say that I have not for once felt like I wasn't properly trained. Even times when I've had ahead. So I like it to appreciate all that IFE has added to you, all that Ife has done to you, all the percussions, you know, all the presentations, all the clickings and all of those. Now, specifically with respect to your upcoming exams, first let me speak to folks who have who probably feel that they are behind. They feel maybe you've had it rough with your in courses, with your end of posting exams, and you're not sure what's going to happen in these exams. Can I please let you know, as an insider, the exams have been designed to favor you. That's the truth. You've passed until proven otherwise. I wish I could say it maybe better than that. And I've been coordinator of exams for the department for a couple of years now, and I have seen folks who did very poorly during their end of posting exams, really very poorly, and then they got to exams and man, they almost got to, you know, I mean, they got such heavy marks that, I mean, folks who would have failed were getting B marks, right? And there are also other people who because of what had happened to them during their end of posting exams, they allowed that get to them so badly, and they just kept going down. You have a lot more, you know, to fight for. All that you end up, and it's a whole lot of marks, and I can design to favor you. Much more than that, I'd like you to see what lies ahead of you as sufficient motivation, you know, for you to want to do well. This is a rate limiting step in your life. You need to pass through this phase of life to get through to the next phase. And you know what's waiting for you on the next phase? It's all beautiful. It's all wonderful. Several opportunities. I can tell you the truth. Just having an MBCHB degree alone grants you access to several areas in life. So this is a rate limiting step. So I want you to look ahead and just see yourself as someone who is entering into, you know, something bigger than where you are now, and let that serve as enough fuel, enough motivation to jack you up to want to succeed. You know, let that motivate you. And like I did say, there's so many opportunities waiting for you. You know, I'm sure, like some of us initially as medical students, I thought that all there is to, you know, medicine, once you qualify as a medical doctor, is to go into residency, and you know, that's all there is. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's so many things I'm doing now outside of surgery, outside of clinical research, that I have been able to access just because of my medical degree. So I like it to be spurred. I like it to be excited. I like it to be motivated, because there is so much waiting for you on the other side. And that's enough motivation for you to tell yourself, whatever it's going to take, you're going to succeed, you are going to go through this, and you're going to do well. Let me also quickly mention that there's a lot of negative things that's flying all around at this time, you know, about Nigeria, about medical school, that seems to make one feel like you are in a disadvantaged society. I beg to disagree. While things may not be the way we want them to be, I'd like you to also know that there's a lot of things that this environment is adding to you that you might not find in other climes. And that's important, because there is something inferiority complex does to you. It limits your horizon. It limits your ability to take on challenges. I've had to compete with folks, you know, from other climes who had everything going for them. And believe you me, many of them were no match. And that's the truth. I didn't have access to the things they had access to, right? I mean, many of the things they knew were practically strange to me. But in most instances, it never took me more than 2 weeks to 1 month, right, to unravel whatever it is that they knew. And you know, I was way ahead. So I'd like you to not go about with this kind of mindset of, you know, we're disadvantaged, no, this environment is bad. Absolutely not. There is so many things that, you know, like I did mention, if it has added to you, that until you find yourself in a different environment, that's when you know how much dynamite you have on your inside. There's so much for me to say. This is just the first session, but let me say it again. You guys have passed your exams on the purpose with the mindset of passing. I've told some of you folks who've gone through my unit.
Yes.
I mean, just go there, just let my people go. Who says so? Excuse me, go for the exam and go for the kill. Back in our days, I mean, there used to be a cap on what you can score. Those things have been effaced now. You know, all the close marking idea no longer exists. So
Nice
you do
one.
well, you get all your maximum marks.
Perfect.
Now that's the truth. You know, it's a retrogressive way to look at things. Yes, I mean, so now it's very possible for guys to, you know, to get distinctions across. Let me also mention to you, it might surprise you to hear this. Some of you know more than some of the examiners, and that's to talk with confidence. They want to exude boldness, exude confidence in the way you speak. I am someone who is really generous with marks. Now, I don't. I don't dole out marks. I don't. I reward people accordingly. But excuse me, you do well, you get what you deserve.
That's perfectly said, Dr. Lasende.
I'd like you to go for the kill.
Yes.
Those examiners are waiting for you to show the
Yeah, I think it's breaking up. Oh my. I think it's really breaking up. This is, sorry. Wow. Dr. Lasende. Dr. Lasende. I think we have an issue with his connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll stop at that point.
Oh, okay. I heard him say he's going to stop at that point. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic, Dr. Lasende. In the little we could
I'm here.
hear.
I'm done. Thanks.
Oh, yes. Great.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm done.
in what we could hear, I'm so glad this set of people are able to hear that. I wish I heard that in my final year. Somebody tell me I can score as much as I can. Tell me they remove close marking. Tell me to go out in confidence. You know, that is just right. So everybody hearing it, congratulations. Call yourself, tell yourself, Doctor, your first name, you have won. Just say it. We're running out of time, so we have to be fast. So, you know, make sure to look out for the next session so that you can really hear Dr. Lasende break down in bits and pieces. I'm going to move on to the next speaker. She is also loaded. She has quite a story. She's going to be very brief today because she has an upcoming session with everyone. Her name is Dr. Lushola Jumoke Daramola. She's a fellow of the Royal College of Pathologists and a member of Hemato-Oncology Diagnostic Service Team, the Royal Liverpool University Teaching Hospital, Liverpool. She obtained her master's in public health and environmental science at the University of Birmingham, UK. Her residency training was in histopathology, commenced with in the NIHR-funded academic clinical fellow. And she contributed to research on cerebrovascular disease in HIV. Her most recent work explores the novel immunogenic features of hematopoietic stem and progenitor cells. Please welcome Dr. Jumoke Daramola for the next few minutes. We have just 10 more minutes to go, and we still have Dr. Gbenga Adebayo. I know. We'll give you a full 40 minutes in the next session, please. Thank you.
I'm going to be very brief. I'm pleased to have you all on this platform, and I'll say thank you to Tayo for hosting it. Yeah, because I'm somehow academic, I would like to share my screen because I do this whenever I talk. Oh, hello. Am I able to share?
I don't think that was part of the plan, but you could try to share.
Okay. Host disable attendee screenshot. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah, if I'm not able to share what I have, but then I want to congratulate you all because your MBCHB, which you're going to get in not too far a future from now, gives you that passport to greatness. Anywhere you find yourself in the world, it gives you that passport to greatness. And definitely there are lots and plenty of rooms for you at the top. You know, you could go into the private sector, be a business person, be in public health, general practice, just to mention a few. And this is because what my colleagues have said earlier, you've got it all. Where you are now, passing through IFE, you've actually done at least 25 end of posting. You know your anatomy, from anatomy to physiology, you know this. And definitely, if you apply this in life, sky is the limit for you. Everybody has said one thing or the other, but there's something you should take along in your journey. And that is the I can do attitude and determination. And that is one thing that we learned in IFE. You have to be determined to pass through the corridors of IFE and get to where you are. I want you to really give yourself a pat at the back because you are where you are. And for what my colleagues have said, do your homework. You're going to get your MBCHP in the next couple of weeks. And we have said a lot about the opportunities out there, be it Nigeria, outside the country, to mention a few. But if somebody tells you that all these journeys would present a bed of roses, that is not so. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be people telling you you can't. But then there's one that's going to work for you, your determination and your can-do attitude. So in summary, I would like you guys to, on your journey, just take the I can. When people tells you I can't, delete the T and tell them I can in all things. Be determined. You know, obstacles will come, but be determined to go through it. And, you know, for me in the UK, there were obstacles, there were challenges through my journey, but I kept I stood the ground that I'm determined to overcome this. And it worked out at the end of the day. So wherever you find yourself, just on the tables of your heart, where your loved up originates, write, I can do, and take with you the determination, and definitely you get there. So I congratulate you ahead of time for your MBCHP, and I hope to share more of my experience with you later. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Daramola, for that. We couldn't give you permission to share, but we know you have a session upcoming where you'll be able to tell your story in detail because you personally motivate even me. Thank you for who you are and what you do. I would like to quickly introduce our final speaker. We put him here for a reason. He is the impact factor. Dr. Gbenga Adebayo. He's the founder and CEO of Living Health International. He is a health solutions and health communications consultant to many organizations beyond the borders of Nigeria. He consults for government agencies. He's always seeking innovative ways to engage people. He is the founder of Living Health TV on YouTube. You can follow him there. His areas of interest include leadership, mentorship, He's an author of several journals. He holds several degrees, including an MPH in the Hebrew University of Hadash, public health, where he graduated magna cum laude. And he has other associations, other degrees that he has refused to put here in the bio I'm sharing today. I'll pass it on to Dr. Gbenga Adebayo, please. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Tayo, and thank you to the OAU Medtalks team for putting this together. So I like this to be a little bit more interactive. So first, tell me, how many years have you guys spent in Ife? How many years? Just type it here. How many years?
I can answer for them.
Type it. How many years have you spent?
Okay.
8 years.
We see 7. I know some people here that spent 10, some 11.
So some of you, minimum of 7. That's fine. You are doing well. You're doing very well. So you're doing very well. I can see one of you is actually somebody that I took care of as a baby while he was a baby. So it's good to see that somebody that was a baby, that means I'm growing old, and I need to take note. I need to take note of it. See, let me tell you guys, for your exams, you are passed. And that is the reality of MBCHB. You will need to work hard to fail. You need to kill the patient for you to fail. And even if you have a receipt, you will pass ultimately. That's the reality of final year. I can tell you that in the next 15 years, all these things you are worried about, they're not going to matter anymore. Huh? All these things you are dictating, and from what Dr. Lasande has said, you see, they made everything so simple. Do you still do clinicals, or everything is now OSCE? Do you do clinical exam where you present a case? Do you still do that?
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
They still do, but short cases out of it. So, they just do the long case and that's it.
Fantastic. So people are passed.
They do pictures.
People are passed. If you are doing
can I come back to medical school, please? Can I?
See, all those things that you are worried about, the main thing in your exam is to project confidence. Be confident, keep it simple. What are the cases you have? All those cases have, by the time you start to, if I go back to medical school now, even if I've not read for your exam, I'll pass the exam, unless the person wants to pay me. I'm passing very well. Even though I've not read clinical work for so many years, because once you know your diagnosis, you know the story you want to tell to you, any other thing that is not important, you exclude it. You beg the patient, Mama, the doctor, this thing is so, for MBCHB exam, you need to work hard to fail. You need to really try to fail. You have a CRF case. You should know that the history should be not 3 months. It should not be 1 week. You shouldn't say presenting complaint 2 weeks. You shouldn't say that. When you are now coming to a diagnosis of CRF, from the beginning, you start to paint problem for yourself. Huh? The mother said, the father now said, all those things are not important. So you will need to have been going for your clinicals and you paint your story confidently. I will advise you, if you can do without reading from a notebook, go ahead and do it. Present your case from your head. When you present your case from your head, you are given a little bit of more latitude.
That is true.
He's muted.
Dr. Gbenga, you're muted. Unmute yourself, please.
Unmute. Oh, you muted me. Okay, fantastic. So, I don't know where I stopped. Go for your case confidently. Present from your head if you can. My patient is this. Greet them when they come. Be polite. Do this after. You are checking for, all those things that we do. Do it properly. Stand on the right side. If you stand on the left side and you forgot and you stand on the left side, just make yourself left-handed immediately. MBCHB exams simple. So Once you finish your MBCHP, now we are talking about stepping into the future. And all of you are wondering, what should I do? How should I do it? The things I would have done years past now, that I wish I had done now, was to make sure I get a PhD. A lot of you say you want to do fellowship. If you want, fellowship is fantastic, fellowship is great. If you want to be a global player, try to get your PhD. And business in medicine. Medicine opens your mind to do everything. So they say my time is up. God bless you. If you have questions, if you have time for questions, we'll take questions.
You can obviously know you want to listen to Dr. Gbenga Adebayo again.
Absolutely.
I want to listen to him. He has a lot more that he wanted to say. And we said this is just going to be the 45 minutes. Our 45 minutes is up, and we will keep to time. That's who we are. We know you are as busy as we are, and we have respect for your time as well. Thank you so much to everybody who has contributed to this. We will be wrapping up. We promised it was going to be 8 o'clock to 8:45. We're 1 minute over. And please do not hesitate. Send your questions to OAUmed05@gmail.com. We're going to put it in chat. And we would like to come to the end of this session as we also prepare each of the speakers and so many more that you haven't seen, who you would like to meet in the upcoming sessions. We hope to do this once every month. At the minimum. So go do your exams. You have won. Congratulations, doctors, and see you in the next session. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Enjoy yourself. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very essential.
Sorry, can I just add one last thing for you? We are not this unserious. Not all of us are this unserious. Some of these people are just serious people. Please. Okay.
Seriousness. Seriousness.
Thank you. I can see the students dropping off. I know they have to read. People are still, jacking. Coffee is doing the work. I drank coffee in those last
parking,
right?
Huh?
So I think we're just gonna have some of us left over. I can see people from Canada, US. Thank you, Dr. Adebi. I see you. Dr. Femi Abe, thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you. We're saying bye to all the final year students. OAU Med Talks is over. You can stop recording now so that we can have our 15-minute reunion.
Okay.
Brief reunion. Thank you.